were given a manual from that particular maker to understand the product. Well, Quran is our manual that came from the maker to understand the product. Here's the thing. Very recently, I was sitting and thinking about the essence of this human nature and the movement of the African American Muslim, and then just the movement of the world in understanding what is going on with this idea of race. What is going on that will cause people to be so down on blackness in all groups of people? Doesn't matter. Malaysian, it doesn't matter if you're Hispanic, it doesn't matter if you're Saudi. The black person in those instances is still held down. That's a reality. That's not a thought process that you think is the case. This is a reality around the world. So then I looked at the language of Imam Muhammad to say that blackness represented the human nature. Now, with everything, both blackness and whiteness, there is duality. Why? Because Allah said in Quran that He created everything in pairs. So you can't think that just black and white are a pair. You have to think that there is a pair within blackness. So there is a blackness that is human nature, that is excellent in its movement, and then there is a darkness that is ignorance. So you have a high elevation of blackness, and then you have an ignorance in blackness that if you stick with it, it will take you further down in understanding. And you have the same thing in light. You have a light of understanding and consciousness that it moves and it elevates you as you grow in understanding Allah, and then you have a seeking of the light that will blind you. So let's look at what Imam Muhammad says about that. Okay, here we go. He says, darkness is in the minds of the human beings. He said, the word of Scripture points to ignorance of Scripture, that one day that ignorance will grow to cover the whole world under darkness. That is in scriptures that preceded the Quran. It would be a darkness that will cover the whole world. That means it would be a darkness in the minds of human beings, not out here. Do you think the sun went out? The sun never went out. It was there before. We were on this earth, and it has been doing the same thing, lighting one period and bringing darkness after all the time. Before human beings were put on this earth, that was happening. So when you read the origin or the genesis of man, understand that you are not reading this world that God made you are reading. The world that man would make for you. The world of this entertainment, culture, that would hold most of those who are not following the guidance of God. It would capture and hold them and give them their complete life. He says, color. When you first enter college, that when you learn the color can mean to deceive, like the expression, you colored the language. It means that you deceived us with the language. And in Arabic grammar or language means a defect. It is not pure. He said, I dislike color even as a young minister. What I did not like about it in the Nation of Islam, as a young fellow, I was not grown. I did not like us putting too much emphasis on black. He said, one big brother was strong, about 6 feet 2 inches tall, and I was the manager of the Muslim restaurant under my father's leadership. And he came in one day, and I did not feel too good that day. He came in the door, and the first thing he said, get out here. Sister served the black god. He said, oh, did he irritate me and make me want to tell him to get out and never come back. A little bird that flies away long before you get near it. If you come near the nest where the babies are, that bird will come at you like a mad, fiery eagle and actually will attack a man in defense of his babies. So certain things can make you forget the suicide that you are about to accept. He said, the big, tough, burly guy, I went up to him right in his face. And my little self, I said, look, you are not my black god. Do not come in here like that again. And you know he didn't say anything. I saw little sign of him realizing his power, and it melted. It just disappeared under his respect for me. So he sat and ate, and he never came in that way again. He said, I did not like that it discriminated against us. It was a term that really subtly, psychologically divided us. The first teaching of our father, he looked like a white man. And we were told that his mother was a white woman. And then we look at each other and we see the extreme of black, but also the extreme of light complexion, almost white. In fact, we have some among us who are whiter in complexion than many people call white. When you look at the color spectrum, black and white is on either end, but they are not considered colors. They are hues. And black, it encompasses all colors of pigment. It requires every single color to make black. When you come to the spectrum of white and light, you have all of the colors in light in order to make white light. It requires every single color. So it is to understand that you and I are representative of something. We are representative of an original nature, the original essence of the human being, such as the black stone. But we are representative of the original nature that is needed to elevate ourselves to a light of understanding, which is white. So within us, we are both black and white. In every color in between, if you evolve yourself to that level, you would have had to progress through every single color in order to make it to the light. So I told someone, I said, so that means that the white man is just as black as you. It does. The reason people were so drawn to the Nation of Islam, see, some of the language you thought was false and it was truth. Even after Imam Muhammad came, you were saying we shouldn't have the black talk like we have it. You shouldn't have the understanding of the black talk like you had it. But black is beautiful. It is. Right? Be black and be proud. Guess what? All the white people now can say be black and be proud. They should. If we can communicate that to them properly, with that understanding coming from Quran, with the understanding that black is the original nature of the human being, that if you eradicate it, you will eradicate the growth of the human being, period. If you don't own up to your blackness, you will never get to the light. That's even for the white person. So Satan has come in to say, destroy all blackness. Destroy everything that looks black. Destroy everything that talks about black. So that's why the Sudanese, the blackest Sudanese is down. That's why the blackest Malaysian is down. That's why the blackest Mexican is down. That's why everywhere you go, there is something that says destroy blackness. It's not saying destroy you, although they take it as that. You are representative. You are symbolic. That doesn't place the black person above. It just shows you where you fall in symbolism. Symbolically, they are trying to destroy the black person because Satan does not want any human being to understand what the original nature is, therefore to get to the light. So what's our job? Our job is to get this Quran in a fashion that it literally liberates everyone and shows them how black they are. Can you imagine imagine now taking the nation to the people and showing them how black they are? Now you can understand. Oh, white people are definitely in the Nation of Islam now. You just as black as me. Some of them blacker than you. The movement of the person who chose to go into a club of homosexuals and decide that that was the best movement to eradicate the problem is not black enough. And he didn't understand that he wasn't black. That's our job as the black people to help other people understand their blackness. When Wazir came in, and I saw many of the brothers who left out, and then the sisters were all sitting, many of them were still sitting, taking pictures, enjoying the fellowship of each other. And I remember one of the young sisters who rode with me, young, right, 12. We were leaving out of the masjid, we were leaving out of the masjid from Little Rock after iftar, and they told some of the young boys, young men, they were really young, they said, walk them out, right, training them. That's what you do. And she became upset. Why are they walking us out? We can protect ourselves. I was like, wow. I said, but this is what feeds, right? This is what they're feeding on. I said, what do you mean you can protect yourself? This is the women's lib that she's been fed. If somebody come to me, I'm going to hit them in the groin. I said, that's great. I don't want her to deny or whatever self-defense tactic she has. I said, but please understand, and this is speaking to that which is law here, which is apparent. Men have more strength than women. The average man has more strength than, can you not agree with that? She said, well, I mean, I can exercise. I said, that's great, but I'm talking right now. For the future, whenever you exercise and think you got enough muscles, I said, I'm talking right now. If some big brute came and began to choke you, would you not desire someone to pull him off? She was like, I guess. Who's reluctant about being saved? And so as we progressed, right, I finally got her to understand. And now, please know, when she said that, and we have a whole drive here to Houston, I made it my mission to make it clear. So every time something came up, I showed her. Do you see that? Would you not want a man at the point? Oh, well, yeah, that's... I said, oh, so you want a husband that can't protect you? Oh, no, you want to stay at home. You want to go out to work and he stay at home. No, I'll put him out. No. Now, you can't put him out. Because you said you can protect yourself. When the brothers left out, the sisters were left in here. And I meant to start off by reciting Surah Iqra and Alaq. And because I was looking, and of course, understanding when we're talking about this human essence, reading Quran, you're talking about reading everything. And where I'm getting to is an elevation of our human spirit, of our human movement, especially us. We have to begin to be high-level human beings.